2026. God, the year has flown by. Feels like just yesterday we made our 2025 predictions, and look at this now. We're into 2026. So welcome to my 2026 MotoGP predictions. Let's get into it. This is part one of a two-part video. The second part will be my rider transfer predictions, but this one will be our actual season predictions. If you want to see the rider transfer predictions, I'll leave a little tab up there for you to go and click, but go and check it out after this video. I'll also try and leave a little thing on the end screen for you to go and click after this video. Anyway, let's get into it. So we've got our normal prediction set like we do every year. This will include our 3 season predictions, our biggest surprise, our biggest flop. The Teams Championship, the Riders Championship, and the Constructors Championship. Riders Championship will be at the end, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into it. We've done this every year from 22, 23, 24, 25, and now we're doing it for 2026. So, starting off with the 3 season predictions. My first season prediction is that Pedro Acosta will get his first race win. Last season, we saw 2 new race winners, neither of which were Pedro Acosta, which I don't think anyone would have predicted. They were, of course, Fermin Aldeguer and Raul Fernandez. I predict finally, going into his 3rd season of MotoGP, he will become a race winner. My second prediction is that there will be a large controversy at some point during the season. This could be between championship contenders, this could be between a rider and their team, this could be between junior riders in a junior category. It could be any sort of controversy, just a controversy. It could involve the FIM. Last season, of course, we saw quite a few controversies. Valentino Rossi unfollowed MotoGP on Instagram. We saw the horrific moment in Sepang between Noah Detweiler and Jose Antonio Rueda. And we saw, of course, the Jorge Martin and Aprilia controversy. But yeah, I predict there'll be at least one large controversy going into next season. My third and final prediction is a very specific one. I predict that we're going to see the world champion crowned at the Phillip Island Grand Prix. Why do I predict this? Well, the last few years, we've not seen a champion crowned at Phillip Island. In order to find the last rider who won the world championship in Australia, you have to go back to 2012. This, of course, is where Jorge Lorenzo was crowned world champion. I just fixed my lighting. It's a lot better now. 2012 was the last time we saw a world champion crowned at Phillip Island. Sorry guys, the lighting is very buggy, so we're going to have to run with this. I apologise. That was my 3 predictions for the season. We come into now the biggest good surprise. My prediction for the biggest good surprise for the 2026 season is Joan Mir. My reasoning behind this is because Mir was having a very good finish to the 2025 season. He scored 2 podiums in the final part of the season, and I predict he will continue that form into 2026. As well as this, can that bird shush? As well as this, Honda have a really good package going into the 2026 season. So I think that Joan Mir is going to have a very solid season. And I hope he'll be less crash prone, because he was very crash prone for the last few seasons, and that's probably what's cost him some big points. So, with the biggest surprise, of course, we have to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, and for the biggest flop. And I predict that the biggest flop will be what you could argue was the biggest flop for 2025, but I feel like it's just going to continue to get worse, because my prediction for biggest flop for the 2026 season is Pecco Bagnaia. I don't see him having a very good season because he just didn't have a very good end to 2025. And according to him, in testing, the bike is pretty much exactly the same as last season's bike. That is what may cost him for the long run. So, now we come into our team and constructors predictions. Starting with the Constructors Championship, we have in 5th place, Yamaha. In 4th place, Honda. In 3rd place, KTM. In 2nd place, Aprilia. And in 1st place, the Constructors Champions for 2026, Ducati. But the Teams Championship might be a little bit different. In 11th place, Prima Pramac Yamaha. One rookie who's never ridden a MotoGP bike, really, ever. And the second who's sort of going on to the downfall of his career. 10th, Tech 3 KTM. I don't see anything big coming from them. In 9th, LCR Honda. 8th place, just above them, Honda HRC Castrol. In 7th, Monster Energy Yamaha. 6th, Trackhouse Racing. In 5th place, I've gone for Pertamina Enduro VR46. In 4th place, I've gone for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. In 3rd place, BK8 Grassini. In 2nd place, Ducati Lenovo. And your team's champions for 2026, Aprilia Racing. Whoa, things getting spicy. Alright, going into our 2026 rider predictions. Let's go. In 22nd place, I don't see a much more logical answer than Alex Rins. It's super upsetting to say because Rins is a very solid rider, but it just feels like that's what's going to happen. He's just not really been in the right form of his career since his injury with Honda, and I feel like that's going to continue in this season, and I also may feel like this will be his last season in the sport. Going into 21st place, Enea Bastianini. He had a couple good races midway through the 2025 season, but I just don't see it sticking through 2026. It's looking like it'll be one of the most competitive seasons of MotoGP that we've seen in a very long time, and I think Enea Bastianini is just going to get mauled by all the other riders. In 20th place, and this may be controversial, but I've gone for Toprak Razgatlioglu. I was going through my list of riders and I just didn't see him finishing that high on the Prima Pramac Yamaha. I see him scoring maybe a top 5 and a couple top 10s, but just being on that Prima Pramac Yamaha is just going to make him struggle a little bit, I feel. Especially when you're not as used to the MotoGP bikes and you're not used to the tyres that they run. 2027, I feel, is going to be a very different story, but the only reason I see Toprak finishing behind Jack in the standings, I think in the first half of the season, Toprak is going to struggle and fall behind Jack, but throughout the season, he'll close back up to him, which is why I think they're going to be very close, which is also why I predict Jack Miller for 19th. In 18th place, I have gone for the other rookie, Diogo Moreira. The Brazilian rider has proved himself when he's gone up machinery, winning the Moto2 Rookie of the Year championship in 2024, and then winning the Moto2 championship the very next year. And it's not like Moreira had no competition, as he had to verse riders like Senna Agius and Dennis Onchu for Rookie of the Year. So Moreira for P18. In P17, can you shut up? In P17, I have gone for Ayagura. I feel like he's going to have a bit more of a struggle season this season compared to last season. Mainly down to the fact I just don't think he's going to be able to keep up as much. In 16th place, I put Luca Marini. Reason being, Marini is just not going to be consistent enough. And I feel that Luca is going to be left behind by two specific Honda riders. In P15, I've gone for Maverick Vinales. Vinales has always been that rider that's just been able to lock in for a couple races and then disappear off the face of the earth for the rest of the season. And I feel he's going to have a very similar downfall to Alex Rins, where he got injured and just couldn't really bounce back. However, the reason I don't see him finishing down towards the back is because this season he's got Jorge Lorenzo as a trainer. But I don't see him finishing any higher because he's 1, on a satellite team, and 2, he's Maverick Vinales. In 14th place, I have gone for Brad Binder. I see Binder finishing above Vinales for the one reason that he is on a factory KTM. Binder also was one of those riders last season where I felt he wasn't going to do too well, and he ended up beating both the Tech 3s. And yeah, because Binder just would pull out these random performances and all of a sudden he'd just be in the top 5. P13, I've gone for Johan Zarco. This is not a hate on Johan Zarco's talent, this is more a hate on the fact that the LCR Honda team is a satellite team. However, the only reason I don't see him finishing any lower, and the reason I see him finishing above Marini, is because he's actually getting a factory ride next year on the LCR Honda. P12, I have gone for the other Honda, Joan Mir. I did say he'd have a comeback season, and I do feel like he will. He could even snatch a win. But in all seriousness, I see him taking a couple podiums, and yeah, that's about it. I do really hope for Mir's sake that he has a much better season. In 11th place, Franco Morbidelli. It seems really harsh on Frankie because he's on a Ducati, but also just seeing his performance at the end of the season, it just wasn't there. In 10th place, we hit the top 10. 10th place, I've gone for Raul Fernandez. To be honest, if I had predicted him at this point last season, I would have thought I was crazy, but that's exactly where he finished in 2025, with a race win and 2 podiums, which was crazy. So yeah, I predict Fernandez in P10, but just ahead of him, I've gone for Pecco Bagnaia. Come after me all you want. He went from P3 to P5 in the standings in just 3 races. And a comfortable P3 too, may I add. Bagnaia on a factory Ducati is just not working anymore, it doesn't seem like, and I don't feel he's going to be staying with that team for much longer. And you know what? P9 could be generous, considering he was finishing outside the points consistently last season towards the end of the season. P8, I've gone for Fabio Di Giannantonio. And this is down to the reason that he's just that good of a rider. But at the same time, I just feel he's going to get outperformed by quite a few other riders above him, and especially on better spec machinery, but he will severely outperform Morbidelli. P7, I have gone for the other Fabio Quartararo. I would love to predict Quartararo into the top 5, even the top 3. That would be perfect. But it's just Yamaha. I just don't see them doing too much more in 2026. But yeah, Fabio Quartararo, I feel, will take a win and a couple podiums. But it's just the Yamaha inconsistency. And Quartararo is one of those riders that has the skill to do amazing things. He could win multiple world championships. But I just don't see it this season. I don't see him taking many wins this season because it's just Yamaha. P6, Jorge Martin. I see a much better season for Martin this season, but yeah, definitely Aprilia will be focusing a lot more on Bez. As long as Martin manages to keep himself out of injury at the beginning of the year and for the entire season, he'll have a better season this year. In 5th place, I have gone for last year's Rookie of the Year, Firmin Aldeguer. This is purely down to the fact that Firmin Aldeguer seems to have that great late race pace. He's only in his 2nd year, so taking 5th would be quite the spectacle. 4th place, I have gone for Pedro Acosta. I feel he's going to be dragged down a little bit by KTM. I would have predicted him top 3 otherwise. 3rd place. We're hitting the top 3. In 3rd place, I've gone for Alex Marquez. This is down to the fact that obviously Alex has that pace, he has that speed, he has that talent, but I don't think he's going to be able to manage to keep up with the top 2 because they just seem on a completely different level. So, who am I going for 2nd in the championship and, of course, the world champion in 2026? Well, I've predicted that 2nd in the championship will be... Nearly got you there. I will tell you the world champion because it sort of destroys the anticipation if I say the rider who finishes 2nd and then tell you the world champion. So, for the 2026 World Championship in MotoGP, I will be predicting Marc Marquez. That means Bez will finish the year off 2nd best. However, I do feel this will give Bez a good run to possibly go and win the championship the next year, which at the moment, that may be my prediction, depending how his 2026 season goes. And this is all just down to the fact that Marc is just on another level. This season, he won so many races. He won 15 in a row if you include sprints at one point, and he was just a little bit quicker than Bez. However, I do feel that the championship battle will be a lot closer in 2026 than it was in 2025. Also, maybe down to the fact that Ducati don't seem to have the best package anymore. But Marc Marquez is just a next level rider, and having that time off in the 2nd part of the season and for the entire break just feels like he's just going to be recovered, all ready for round 1 to go straight at it. But yeah, I think Bez will give him a much better fight this season. Thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like. And also, if you want to see part 2 for the 2027 transfers, go and check out the video that I have on the screen. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you all at the end of 2026 when we review these predictions. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.